Good afternoon. Very happy to have Cousin David in the house. Cousin Dave is in the house, and Patricia, we're very happy to have you here again. Our topic of conversation for today is Foursquare. Foursquare, which is called an LBS, that stands for Location-Based Social Media Application that we're using, everyone. And we have some folks here who have high-fived this application, and I'm going to say that as the youngest baby boomer out there in 1964, I find it to be something that I'm not going to use as a consumer yet. And I say that because it's time consuming for me and I don't see what I'm getting out of it. I see a lot, however, that small businesses and major corporations can get out of it. And so as a public relations person, I am a big advocate of utilizing this information. I do believe it has lots of potential, but again, who am I? I have Cousin Dave here, and I have Patricia, who is in that 18 to 35 year market of folks who use these things for the fun of it. Can we start with Cousin Dave? Cousin Dave, number one, it's so good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
We've been traveling, we've been moving, we've been doing so many things, and here you are. And I know that you can tell us why you believe we need to take a better look at Foursquare. What have you found from your research about Foursquare, David?
Okay, from my standpoint, and I guess Patricia will talk about from a consumer standpoint, but more from a business standpoint, Foursquare is probably an oncoming phenomena that will probably equal, if not exceed, Twitter in the next 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years is your prediction?
That is correct.
Okay.
Reason being is Foursquare is a company that was founded, I believe, 2 years ago in 2008 in California. It's a California-based company. Mm-hmm. And it has a lot of potentially great promotional and marketing aptitudes that you can actually use.
Okay.
For example, Foursquare has just inked a deal with some of the major search companies, Google, Bing, and 2 others that I can't recall off the top of my head, mm-hmm. to basically partner with them as far as search is concerned. Mm-hmm. Again, from a business standpoint, knowledge is power.
Right.
So one of the advantages that Foursquare is going to have, it will have from a consumer standpoint or from a business standpoint, a great deal of information about where consumers shop, what they think about the locations that they shop in, and in terms of giving you information about in terms of their shopping habits.
Okay.
Also, it gives you a great deal of information, I shouldn't say free information necessarily, but it gives you a lot of opportunity to actually do promotions or special promotions from a business standpoint at a very, very low cost.
Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate that. And I think you're right, Dave. Everything I've read says that if I have a business, if I have a restaurant, I wouldn't do it without putting Foursquare into the marketing mix. Miss Patricia, you've been awfully silent, but I know you've taken a peek at Foursquare. And as somebody who is in that 18 to 35 year old age bracket, how do you feel about Foursquare, and what do you feel would be the Foursquare attributes that would make you even use it on a regular basis? Pros and cons.
Well, I think Foursquare, the first time that I heard about it, I thought it was a really cool idea. It gives you a lot of incentives to go out, and if you are a person who goes out regularly, you can update where you are, and you can find your friends, and you can communicate with people and talk about, share tips and recommendations from certain restaurants. If you're in a new area, you can even look up the area on Foursquare and you can figure out new places that you wouldn't have known otherwise. It cuts down on a lot of the research time on your area, looking for places to go. And it's very convenient if you are the type of person who likes to go out a lot, because all you have to do is just update your Foursquare and you can get deals off that, discounts or anything. The thing about it, at second glance, it can be very time consuming. If you are a person who likes to go out a lot, you might have to be updating everywhere you're traveling, and it seems like I just recently heard about it, so it doesn't seem as if a lot of my friends are using it yet. And you can mm-hmm. use it as a game, you can use it as a competitive aspect, trying to be a mayor on Foursquare, or you can use it as a social networking but it seems like it wouldn't be a lot of use to me because I don't have a smartphone, and this application only runs on smartphones. So I feel like once it picks up and gains more momentum, I might pick it up in the future. I think it needs a little more users on it, but I think it's a great idea.
Well, I appreciate that. Patricia, I appreciate you. Cousin Dave, it is always a privilege when we can get a piece of your advice about what to do with social media and how to get with the program.